for that professional journey. Right now, you're seeing two of the biggest teams within their own region battling it out in this best of 3. Looks like HYVE All-Stars will be on the blue side, so they get prior pick.
Yeah, they're going to start with that. I mean, BIGETRON on the other end, they're on the red, so they're going to be looking more for the counter picks, which could be very interesting come draft. We know just how powerful you can just, having that right moment, the right counter into the draft can give you that edge, which is going to be key. But the craziest part about all of this is the fact that we're seeing BIGETRON by Vitality essentially playing twice today. And I don't want to be like the spoiler. I mean, it'd be amazing if both of them moved on, especially since they've got the home ground buff and all that. But what happens if we're looking from the negative side of potentially both of these BIGETRON squads getting outed today? That is definitely on the cards, right?
That does not even enter my consciousness. But for now, okay, for our Filipino fans here, I need you to answer a question for me. I believe the coach that's drafting for HYVE All-Stars now is one of our ex-pros. That's Fleur, right? If you guys know him, if that's the correct answer, please let us know in the comments as well. But for now, HYVE All-Stars, they're going to start off strong. Early game centric. This is going to be the pay. The Tigers taking the lead.
I love it. I love it. And this is kind of where it's just like, let's just dictate pace, right? Because in a best of 3, everything is so key. You have to win game 1, put the pressure on. And that's the biggest part where you're taking an advantageous pick like the Tigress here to give yourself that bit of an edge. But BIGETRON by Vitality are like, hey, you want to go early? We have crowd control galore.
Yes, and this one then sets into the second stage, which is, okay, for BIGETRON, right? How do you play this game? Do you want to match early game for early game, or do you want to try and fend off and hold on to the mid and late game as a jungler? And that definitely will be answered here in the next few seconds here. Because HYVE All-Stars, they're going with the stock standard combination, the Tigress, as well as the Spark Maze. Pei Byron, we know how dangerous this composition is, and it's going to be joined up by the pack leader, the Chano.
Yo, this draft is pretty fire already. The counter picks are on point. I mean, yeah, you had the Pei Byron. You're thinking, they're going to be Gucci. But now we're looking at the Neza here to kind of get in. I mean, yeah, you've got the shields and all that, but the negation from the Neza is going to be quite good. Plus, again, the crowd control from the Zhang Fei and the Mayan to further crowd control. I mean, they're lacking a little bit of damage on this side, but the draft thus far has been paying off quite well.
It's kind of crazy because I think for the Wild Spark here on the Neza, actually, with the pick on the channel, when the wolves are summoned, you actually enable the shield value for Wild Spark, right? When he uses his second skill, the bind, it generates a small amount of shield that, blocks true damage. So he's going to be quite tanky, or she's going to be quite tanky.
Yeah, she's definitely going to have a bit of an issue, but they're going to pick the Lung. This is kind of funny because sometimes you pick the Chano into the Lung so that you can use the wolves to be a little disruptive. But they're going to go with this the Lung here because they're going to play a little bit more, with their comfort hero on this one. So I think that this is going to be a good farm laner for BIGETRON.
I think they can afford the Lung in the lane, right? Because there is going to be the beast, the Zhang Fei with the shields as well. This is going to be added value. Now, in the mid lane, curious, okay, they actually put the Yuhuan there. I thought the Yuhuan would be a roam, but she's going to the mid, and we have the national hero here, Reefheart Datu, Lapu Lapu going into the roam. So this is going to be an honest fight in the farm lane.
It's going to be, I mean, a nice little counter pick there. You have the sustain from the Yuan, plus you've got the Lapu Lapu, the national hero, to just kind of get into that when the counter initiations are going to be required, especially with that Raging Sea. But now Euphoria gets the Silk Weaver, the Shi. This is going to be potentially teamfight winning if she's able to get the right pulls here.
I like the way that you put it, right? It's potential, because Euphoria needs to land those catches with the Silken Print, right? She needs to have that accuracy. If she's able to pull the correct targets from HYVE All-Stars, they're going to find a lot of success with the ganks. Or it's instantly maybe a 3v1, 4v1, maybe even a 5v1. And then once the dust settles, HYVE will be in a 4v5 situation.
If they're able to get that, I mean, advantage, they're going to have a great time. So for me on this one, the BIGETRON, if we're looking at this lineup, obviously all eyes on Frida, the Wild Spark, Neza. Is she able to be disruptive, get to the back line, and really just kind of keep on pace with the Pei so that she's, not falling behind? I think that this is where a lot of the eyes will be in terms of how this game will go out.
I think, you know what? The early game, it's all about the Pei for the side of HYVE, right? If BIGETRON can survive this initial, 5-6 minute aggression coming in from the side of HYVE All-Stars, I think there is a good chance to turn this game around. But based on what we have seen so far across all professional gameplay, this should be a pay game, at least for the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to have that advantage. I mean, if you've ever been watching any of like the high-level play of a pay, you know just what sort of advantage you get. That early game is definitely going to be tough for them to kind of deal with. BIGETRON need to respond in kind and just make sure that they don't fall off. Keep it close more than anything else.
Yes, keeping it close is definitely very important. We have seen how teams can take a 1,000 goal lead, snowball it into a 5, 6, maybe even 8, sometimes 10,000 in the space of a couple of minutes. So let's see if this is going to be the same case for either of these teams here. Once again, welcome into our Honor of Kings Invitational Season 4. This is our first series of the day for Women's Series Semi-Finals. HYVE All-Stars going up against BIGETRON by Vitality, the ladies team.
Yeah, and it's going to be with a best of 3. We're going to start off very much high-tempo, competitive games, right? And setting it up for Rogue to really get going. She's also got the Bruce Lee skin, which I'm a huge fan of. She's already doing many things correct.
Yeah, with the Wataz, and we'll see. Okay, right now the Wataz isn't really working out. It is going to be a small catch for Euphoria, but this is that aggression we're talking about. Has Rogue gone a little too far?
She's got help. Wana's there as well, and it looks like Kitty has to just kind of back off. And now they're going to look to take the Crimson Golem away. HYVE making some seriously good plays and making it uncomfortable. She takes that one for good measure.
Yeah, but Rita, I like the response from her as well, right? Immediately goes for the trade. Tusk Boars should be secured. Right now the question is, can she get this Crimson Golem? No, actually, they don't even get the Tusk Boars here.
Now they're looking to steal for this one. Bebek is getting a little bit low, needs to be careful, has those shields, but the Crimson Golem is looking to be taken away as well. And they're trading, they're invading, and this is exactly what we wanted to have seen, where now Brita is getting gone on, needs to be a little bit careful, but here comes the pounce on forward. Rogue trying to get the play, gets first blood, gets a secondary one, pounces for the third, but it's under the tower, needs to be careful, looking to go for Brita, and the last shot, Posse takes him down.
Beautiful start from the side of HYVE All-Stars. This is exactly what they need to do. Rogue, very nice timing as well. And the defense coming in from Gia, Joyd, as well as Posty, the 3 of them. This is the mark of a strong team. But Gia has to commit the flash at this point. Not yet 2 minutes, so it's not the most damaging. BTR though, they need to recover.
I mean, just look at the way that they're playing. I mean, the flash away just barely enough to keep her alive, Gia that is, but Euphoria with a nice silk imprint really setting the tone, at least in that mid lane. But now BIGETRON, they need to find a way to come back. I mean, giving up those 3 kills early, not a great start, especially when you're going up against a Rogue pay.
Yes, and the biggest difficulty for them is the takedowns were onto Rita and Bebek, right? Both of which are very important roles in this particular game. So the farm lane and the jungle need to have their farm accelerated. Right now, it is going to be dwindled, slowed down. So HYVE All-Stars, they know what the play is. It's just put more aggression, put more pressure here.
Yeah, and look at through that kill, Posty actually has both of the buffs, so he must be feeling very strong right now. Posty's going to be enjoying the fact that she's got them. But now HYVE, on the other hand, this is where the turnaround happens, right? They're continuing to funnel the farm into Rogue. She's making some good plays and utilizing the map as much as possible and making it difficult, because now BIGETRON on the defensive, I don't really know if you can invade anymore.
But I really like this gameplay from Rogue, right? She is keeping the same kind of mindset for all pay players, right? As a pay, you keep farming. There is no stop button for this Tigress. And right now, BIGETRON, unless they can slow the farm down somewhere else on the map, it's not going to look good for this first 4-minute Tyrant.
Yeah, it will be kind of tough at this point, right? I mean, this net worth lead is about 2K. That's not exactly where you want to be. So this is a very defensive situation for BIGETRON, as they now need to somehow hold the line in terms of these towers, as well as the Tyrant, which is up in about 15.
15 seconds is plenty of time, right, to really reset, get the prior position around the Tyrant pit. At this point, HYVE All-Stars, they're going to play this calm, right? The ladies, they need to play this safe, because they can't afford to throw away this lead they have fought so hard for.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing, right? And I think that you're kind of seeing just how HYVE are playing around the fact that they do have that lead. They're going to be aggressive. They're, again, just making it tough to get even close. But the Umbrella Outburst, they find it, and it looks like they go right on top of Rogue. They're trying to focus it down, but Rogue has already taken the steal, and now it looks like the rest of them, the Raging Sea onto a couple of them. But here we go. The Storm Strike is on point. Wanna is going to look to do some damage, but the Infinite Fastest, he's going to go onto the tower. Wanna is a little bit low. Rogue gets the pick up on Avrita, and I think that they're going to be disengaging. They're going to be very happy with that team.
Beautiful team play from the side of HYVE All-Stars. In fact, they might want to go for more here.
Pasti being super aggressive. That's the wrong side, and she will pay for her sins. Bebek gets that kill, but the Azure Golem is actually going to be taken away. It looks like Kitty QT with that smite ensures that they get it. Nice Silk imprint, and they look like they've gotten it, but Bebek is going to be killed. Gia is somehow still alive, and here comes the Skyfall. Soaring in, gets the pickup on a Joint 7, and now one is here with that Storm Strike. The fights are never ending. No, they will eventually end now.
Oh, but they did cut that goal lead, so BIGETRON by Vitality. Very nice recovery here. This jump by the side of Rita, definitely worth it to get the life of Joint 7 as well. Now, this is going to be the start of a nice recovery, but BIGETRON, they need a little bit more. Right now, it's all about Rita. Can Rita amplify her farm, and who is going to help her with that particular aspect of the win condition?
That it's going to be a bit of a problem. I mean, she definitely needs support to ensure that they get those proper kills. But one thing about HYVE is that this network lead has actually dwindled a bit. Yes, it's still in their advantage, but this is a situation where you're like, hey, you had a lead. Do we really need to be looking at team fight? But here comes the Skyfall yet again. Nice, the Umbrella Outburst. The Raging Sea countering that one, but Pasti's up in front. Looks like she will eventually get killed on this one, and she does go down, but now Vera gets the pull back. She is low as well. The nice little Storm Strike. They find Gia 3 members down from HYVE, and with that Infinite Fastest, it looks like Bebek is going to get on back. Cutie KT is going to get sniped out, and they get Rita as well, and both of these squads are looking to brawl early.
Oh my goodness, Wuna. This is the lady of the moment at this point, opening up and making sure they stay there and getting the flash as well. Holy, HYVE All-Stars, they refuse to give up.
Yeah, refusing to give up. I mean, Joint 7 almost got the snipe with that soaring signal, but Wanna was like, okay, I'm still in a great position. I'm able to flash forward and get that slam dunk and gets the kills. And my gosh, this is already more entertaining in the first 10 minutes because we've seen so many kills, and both of these teams are going back and forth.
Yes, this exchange is worth it because they actually get true value out of it, right? After every exchange, they go for something important, like the buffs, like the turrets, or even just making sure that the waves are in their favor. These are all small little impacts that will help you change the game, and right now, HYVE All-Stars trying to work their way on this T1. Should be able to get it if they want to push for more. Will get it. Now, this is going to put Bebek at risk at this point. She does not have her Infinite Fastness. She needs to be really careful for this one.
She's down about 1.6k. She's really been struggling. Joint 7 has gotten the better of her throughout this entire game, and now she has to play even more defensively under that tower and just wants a little bit of space, but that's going to be one less. The Storm Strike on forward. Euphoria getting a little bit low. The Raging Sneak gets the snipe. Joint 7, but here comes a Skyfall. Do they get any sort of return kill? They get the nice little Stampede. They have it on the Gia, but it looks like it's too much. They've got Rita and as well as Fyra on this one. They were trying to go in to make the save, but they don't really have a nudge in HYVE just on this 5-man front, absolutely destroying in this game.
I mean, HYVE All-Stars, that's one thing. They also have a HYVE mind. Very nice play coming in from the 5 ladies here. Nobody took a fall. This is all thanks to Gia here. She had a very nice ending sorrow, getting the heals for the entire team. And the rewards are well worth it. They get a T1 at the bot, mid, and very soon, Joint 7 gonna add on to that list a top T1 as well. Posty, she might have to give her life, but I think that's a worthwhile trade.
Definitely a worthwhile trade. And I mean, going into this one, both of these squads were actually undefeated up until this moment. So it was going to be who blinks first. Bebek now getting run down. Wanna is doing some serious work. Infinite Masses has to be used defensively, but they find Rita. That's the pickup that they're actually looking for. And now this T3, they can't proceed because they don't have the movement.
It's okay, they have a T2 to take anyway at the top side here. Ro getting the Master Sword as well. She is right now super powerful, and they have a 7,000 goal lead on the side of HYVE All-Stars.
Yeah, actually turning it up. I mean, taking over the jungle, you can't even get to your Azure Golem. You can't even get close to it. So HYVE doing a great job in terms of map control. They haven't lost a single tower. This has been a great game for HYVE.
Yeah, I really like it. It's simply also because I think this is, at least for me personally, this is the first time I've laid eyes on the HYVE All-Star gameplay. Look, the coaching staff has been great, Fleur giving them these picks, and it looks like this is a very comfortable setup for the side of HYVE All-Stars.
Again, BIGETRON now on the defensive. Oh, nice little flank on this one. 1-0 with a nice storm strike, but they don't really have the follow-up. But they push them back, and they're saying, hey, stay in your base. We're going to eventually be in there as we're going to knock on some of those doors.
I mean, someone has to call the doctor here. Wana is ill. I mean, she's been getting all these setups for the team. And, you know, with the amount of tankness she has, they could potentially get for more.
Yeah, it looks like they want to go for more. This bottom T3 is looking to potentially go, but it looks like BIGETRON have enough to hold. The wave clear is real, so if anything, they can kind of slow the game down, but they're starting to fall off, and this is a problem, especially when you're going up against Ipe, who has that advantage, but how long can they hold the line?
I mean, pretty long at this point, right? At this point, Rogue has a 2,000 gold lead over her counterpart. At the same time, the highest farm on the side of HYVE is Joy7. She's 7 kills on board, and this is a huge gold lead for her, and also an EXP lead as well.
Yeah, actually, if she gets another kill, she has to change her name to Joy8 in between the next match and this one. So that's something to take note of. It might be interesting, but Wana on this flank. Nice little storm strike. Finds Euphoria, who has to actually flash away. The Raging Sea is going to be potentially be used on this one, but they find Frida, they get the kill, and that's a huge starter for this one. Nice storm strike with Wana, just tearing it down. The amount of damage and control, and Vera just trying to stay alive. Flashes, gets to the fountain, but now HYVE turn their attention to the base with only Vira standing. This is going to be a very difficult hold. They don't even care about the crystal shots. They'll take Vira down for good measure, and they will take game number 1. HYVE in full control of this one.
2 seconds away from the 11-minute mark. What a performance by HYVE All-Stars at this point. The 5 ladies, once again, I give my biggest shout out to Wana here. She really carried hard in this game. She was hard to deal with. Nobody could really take her down. It was 1v5. That was a legit 1v5, by the way.
Absolutely. Like, just complete domination right there. And the fact that you were on that Byron in the heart of the enemy team, fighting 1 versus 5, and it seems like, oh, you're out of position. But the rest of them were right there to really follow up. It just made it very easy for the rest of the HYVE members, and they're going to be happy. And yes, this is only 1 game, but things are looking very good for this squad.
All right, so she needs to change her name to Overjoyed at this point, right? Many more kills, many more wins coming in. And right now, this is a great start for the side of HYVE All-Stars, but it's not the end. We will have to take a look at what's going to go in this second game of the best of 3, because things pretty much still are able to be changed.
I like it how they were kind of very happy and joyous as they were entering the locker room, right? In the sense of the waiting room, and just being able to kind of just hold, just be like they need to show their emotions on this one. Some of those teams are like incredibly static, win or lose, they don't show anything. But it looks like they're very happy with their performance. But it's just 1 game. Things looked incredible for this squad, though.
Yes, I mean, 11 minutes, they had full control of the Gorge. They had super tank. They got the kills into the correct members as well, right? And Rogue played a really sick game of Pei. She was, I mean, we expected the Pei to have a lead, but the way in which they did it was not just taking away the camps, but making a successful defense in their own jungle, which I think led to this super huge growth for the side of HYVE All-Stars.
Yeah, and actually just not losing a single tower makes it much easier because you know that they're really not going to be invading your jungle. I mean, it's just that full-on map control. Once they got going, they had a huge net worth lead, and you just saw just them just kind of snowballing out of control on this one. But HYVE All-Stars, okay, now, if we're looking at the other side, you're looking at BIGETRON by Vitality. Like, what do they need to do?
They need you to stop jinxing them. I think that's the first thing. Secondly, I think at this point, maybe the comps, right? Because I think there were a couple of moments where Vrida on the Wild Spark, right, the Nerza, she was trying to jump into the middle of 5, which I think it's an okay idea, but she needs the backup of the other members as well. And this was a moment where Bebek on the Lung, she was pretty far behind, right? I think she had like a 2,000 gold deficit against her counterpart there for George 7. So I think in this particular game, or in the following one, I think they need to really secure their resources before they take an actual team fight with HYVE.
but it was like they were behind to start. I mean, the jungle invade, the tempo that you saw from HYVE, were really trying to put pressure onto BIGETRON. Yes, they tried their own jungle invasion, but they paid, you know, I mean, with their lives. They lost quite a bit in terms of that swing. I mean, that is an early game disaster that it's really tough to come back from.
It is, it truly is, right? And I think maybe one of the things they can change on the side of BIGETRON is, let's see how Euphoria does on a more aggressive mage, right? Euphoria didn't have the chance to get the catches because it also puts her at risk. Plus the fact that HYVE All-Stars was pretty much far ahead at the, 4 or 5 minute mark. In fact, they were about at 3k gold as a team at the 2.5 minute mark. That was insanely quick for them.
Yeah, insanely quick. I mean, Joyd 7, you saw the damage. She actually had like the most. It was like, I think 100,000. But this is kind of what the story of that game was. This gold graph, all in favor of HYVE All-Stars as they were consistently growing it, sticking around, giving, I mean, Vitality, we're trying to fight back. And there are a little bit of dips, but nothing that was actually in favor of Vitality as HYVE were in full control, taking over everything, all of the towers. And of course, the MVP, Joyd 7, 10, 1, and 9. Wow, on this pack leader channel. Yeah, absolutely dominant performance.
You know, her KD looks like a math equation, right? 10 equals 1 plus 9.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, I get it. It definitely adds up. Okay. I thought we were going to do a little bit more complex than that, but that's fine. 10, 1, and 9 it is. 10, 1 plus 9. But the damage for me, 102,000. That was the biggest factor. That was such a game changer in terms of how they play this one out. She was always on the back. She's in perfect positioning, always getting the snipes, getting the double right there, and really setting the tone for the rest of this one.
Yes, this was a great team play from the side of HYVE All-Stars, right? Making sure that the rest of the team was tanking and allowing Rogue to come in at the last moment, which is what you want as the paid, before she gets that true power spike. At the same time, this was, I think, a little bit of chaos in the middle of BIGETRON by Vitality's lineup, right? They were trying to go onto multiple targets at the same time, which kind of dwindled their attacking power.
It also seemed like they're so willing to brawl. And I think that this is something where it's like, hey, if you're brawling, fine, but do it from a position of strength where you have an advantage. If you're behind and you're looking to fight 5v5, it's like fighting 5v6. It's not good odds. And so I think that you need to control your, like, you know, your anger, your rage, whatever it is, to kind of just play within the means of the game. And you're seeing just the plays from Wanna just setting it up. I mean, BIGETRON completely got wiped out. Didn't really have too much of a chance once things got going because they were in full control.
Yeah, even the fans felt it, that one, you know, in the home crowd. So this is where we will answer that question, right? Or rather, the teams will answer it for us. Where, okay, right now you're in front